Hi, and welcome to Star Lighthouse. I'm Prashant, and this is weekly reading for Sun, Moon, Venus, Rising, and Leo. This is a general read, so I suggest you take whatever resonates with you and leave everything else behind. And if this reading does connect with you, there's an extended to it. The link for that extension is below in the description box. I hope you like the reading, and if you do, please do like, subscribe, and share. That would be very helpful. So Leo, how are you doing? So close to Thanksgiving, right? How are you feeling? Hope you're able to find ways to connect with your family and friends this week. To share some gratitude. I know it's a tough year, especially connecting with people was hard. It has been a hard year for many people. So hope you're able to find some gratitude, some graciousness. Let's see what's going on with you this week. So focus on the thought and the feeling. The idea that's keeping you excited. The question that's burning your mind right now. Whatever brought you this reading. Focus on that. Take a deep breath. And let everything else go. Just focus on that thought. Maybe this reading has an answer for you. Let's see what's going on with you. Nine of Coins. Looking to find financial stability or looking at money from a new perspective. Being blocked by death, a transformation, past situation, Hanged Man, connection to mind or finding dreams, understanding dreams. So that could also be changing so that's what it could be pointing the death of your previous way of approaching your dreams about money and success. Mind's ambition, Fool, moving and leaving past the old, moving to the new. Heart's desire, Seven of Swords. Seven of Swords is a card that points towards your own deceptions to yourself, like the lies we tell our own self, the games we play with our own self. Like it's in a way of, like hypothetically, someone has an addiction disorder. They constantly try to tell themselves like, okay, they would stop, but it's like your conscious lies to you. It's like two personalities get created. So it's the same thing that points towards. So it seems like you were in some sort of a bad behavior in the past, and that either could have impacted your financial health, or it could have ended your old financial cycle. Now, either that was because of your addiction to substance, or it could be your addiction to old bad behavior, or if it was like a cycle where you were subservient to someone else's thoughts, and now you're realizing your own strength and power. That also could represent this death and transformation that's happening where you could stand up for yourself. Let's see what's going on next. Future situations. Page of Swords. So finding this new energy inside you to go outwards and explore more, take an action for finding opportunities that serve your interest rather than someone else that you might have been previously pointing. It's pointing towards you have been telling yourself lies, or even undervaluing yourself in your own eyes. That by itself is a very heavy lie, where we undervalue ourselves and then we try to tell ourselves. It's like if we're stuck in a bad situation, we start cheating our own mind and we start telling ourselves that no, it's a good situation, you're just overthinking, you're overanalyzing, you're not grounded enough. And all of them stem from lies and deceits that we start telling ourselves. The reason for these are basically social perceptions or the ideas that we grew up with. especially this week, if this card is coming out, it points towards like family beliefs that become our own fears and nightmares. What I mean by that is like our parental success, like our parents and their own success or failures becomes our beliefs and fears. Like their success becomes our way of achieving success, their failures becomes our fears because we start thinking that that's okay, somebody has tested their own time and they failed. We don't realize their actions, their intent, their nature. We don't realize their intent, we don't realize how they took those actions. We just rather make those judgments that their failure becomes our fears, that we should not be ever doing, ever touching that. We should not be taking those actions because that would inevitably lead to a failure, and we don't want failure in our life. We don't realize that if we experience those failures, we might even understand more about why those happen. Or if we're not even experiencing failures, we might find ways to be successful about it by being our own innovative self. Seven of Swords, it's pulling one on our own self. It's like you are your own elder brother or sister and trying to tell you that no, you don't deserve this thing, or you should just go and find a corner, like this is my TV time. Like to that extent, you're deceiving your own self. You're just trying to one up your own self, trying to tell yourself that you don't deserve enough. Hangman is pointing towards how now you're finding that there's more to you than previously thought. This is coming by taking time to connect to your mind, to connect to your dreams. Dreams are a very important place where we get to know about what our next step should be. By understanding dreams, your subconscious is basically in dream state trying to tell you what would make your mind and heart happy and content, allowing you to take all those efforts like towards those next actions with 100% groundedness and intent. Fool's energy is something which is very great to stay grounded and controlled in a moment. Fool's energy is something which is not impacted by past emotions because the fool has let that go, and the future does not exist right now. So getting to a fool's space where you're completely in that moment, in that current moment, would help you moving forward, would help you releasing these old nightmares, these old fears, these old deceptions of your own self, blocking you from moving forward. And what moving forward here looks like is finding and achieving like abundant success, Nine of Pentacles. Abundant success where you don't have to worry about other people or their views, their perceptions. So it could very well be that this deception that you're putting on yourself is created by like even your family beliefs or perception about how success looks like. Because Nine of Pentacles is like very self-satisfied, like this is kind of like a stability and abundance where you can spend on yourself without the thought of responsibility. Like it's not a negative way of looking at it, like responsibility is negative, rather you're free for yourself, and responsibility or otherwise don't impact you from spending for yourself. So you that kind of an abundance, which was getting blocked by you telling yourself, undervaluing your own self. That undervaluation of this your own self, that's what needs to be released. And talking about family values or beliefs, it's not to talk about them in a negative perspective, but rather it could be pointing out at some talent that you were never aware of. It might have never existed in your family, and then evaluating its true value, it's hard because that perception does not exist. The perception of what it looks like. the success behind it, what it looks like. That does not exist. So it's just more like thinking out of the box, or going out of the box, going outside that old family perception of what successful financial institutions are. That's what this transition is. That's what this transformation is. And that's where it's taking you towards Page of Swords, another card that represents Fool's energy. Being able to go out in a more explorative manner, and being able to explore opportunities that align to you and your happiness. And as I said, when your mind is content and happy, then your actions are fully, like 100% effective, because you're like fully in that moment. Suggested advice or action: 8 of Chalices. Context for this advice or action: 7 of Coins. So grounded daydreaming, hopes and fears. 4 of Swords, releasing the past and potential outcome. 8 of Wands. So very positive movement. So how do we move positive? How do you move further? How do you move outside? So getting to this Fool space would be very great, where you are acting in the moment, where you completely grounded, and where you release all the past baggages and the emotions. What we mean by past baggages and the emotions is that when you start experiencing your own, when you start understanding your value, there would be this creative guilt inside you that, hey, why did I not do this thing before? And if I didn't do this thing before, if I'm doing it now, am I sure I should be doing it now? And then you incept a doubt in your mind. It's like, oh, who makes me think I should do it? All that transition, all that understanding, it's basically like an emotional chaos in your own mind, a conflict between two people, one person stuck in the past way and the other person trying to release that past and move on to a next way of working, a next way of approaching things. So that's where becoming this fool, where you don't even connect to that past for a while, becomes important. It's not that you release, like you're putting that past under the rug, rather you're giving that past a space, its own moment for its understanding to come to you. So when you get there, when you are able to understand the reasons why you were deceiving your own self, that's what will bring you emotional chaos. That emotional chaos needs to be let go of in the moments when it shows up. Breathe through it. I know it's a funny suggestion, breathe through it, but letting go of that guilt, anger of not being able to fully appreciate yourself, of being under-evaluating yourself, and realizing that how successful now you can be, and realizing how to daydream about that success. It's like a ironical situation in your mind, where you're realizing how much you wasted time in the past, but now, hey, let's daydream about the future. But when you daydream about the future, you feel, oh, I can be that successful, and then, but this past feeling gives you more doubt. It's that chaos, that conflict. And at that point, 7 of Coins, daydreaming, at that point you need to find some balance, some groundedness, where you start feeling that all this transformation, especially if you're uncertain about this transformation, all this transformation of releasing an old way of approaching money, all this transformation of basically how you even present yourself. 8 of Wands is going past, like trying to, so 8 of Wands is a card which is a stable energy enough where the person doesn't try to impress it's more about self-expression. It's more about self-creativity. And it's like a creative breakthrough. That creative breakthrough appears when you start realizing what makes you you, what makes you special, and then you start just using that speciality rather than using as an icing on a cake. So rather than doing everyone else or approaching work through everyone else's perspective, and then putting your specialty as an icing on the cake, which then looks like you're trying to impress other people. You find your own uniqueness, your own creativity, and you're just specializing in it, and you're just selling that. And that would bring you that self-abundance I was talking about, where you're self-content, self-abundant, you're happy with who you are, you're secure. So how do we connect to that person who's secure? How do we connect to that person who is self-aware? And how do we go past this transformation? Handbind is a good start. With the past stamp on it, it seems you have an understanding or a meditative exercise where at least you allow your mind and heart to talk. If you don't, rather at this point, do start developing some meditative exercise. Take like some low frequency sleeping exercises, sleeping meditations, and that would allow you at least to go through dream space with ease. Once you start going through dream space with ease, that would allow your mind to remember those dreams when you're conscious. And when you're consciously aware about your dreams, then you can start focusing why you're having them, the thoughts behind them. That's where this is Handman. Understanding dreams, thoughts behind them. Once you start understanding dreams and thoughts behind them, then you start getting triggered by the actions you need to take. How you take those actions, that's where you need to understand your own personal abilities that aligns with those actions. Once you start acting towards these dreams, you would automatically start finding those abilities inside you, because your thoughts would be based out of your own abilities. It cannot be outside your abilities. So taking those actions now towards these dreams would automatically align you towards this success, because your actions by itself would be based out of your own characteristics, making it unique for you. What I'm trying to say by all that, acting in the moment, acting with your own intuitions, acting with your own uniqueness, that's what brings abundance. Letting go of other people's fears, letting go of those one-upping deceptions in your own self, where you undervalue your own self, letting go of family beliefs or perceptions on what success looks like, how it can be achieved. All those negative evaluations of yourself, that needs to be released. That's what the death away here represents. Once you do, you will start taking actions towards your own success, actions which align to your dreams. Suggestions for daydreaming. This is allowing your conscious to remember the dreams for the night, and then once you start remembering them during your conscious state, then start understanding the thought behind them. Once you understand the thought behind them, then you can co-manifest, like co-dream in that conscious state. That's daydreaming. When you're consciously aware and you co-dreaming with your subconscious. So start remembering those subconscious dreams. I would suggest to take up some meditation exercise during like your sleeping hours. They are like sleeping meditation on YouTube too. So try to find those and try to check it out, experience it if you can. If you don't like it, just let it go. If you do like it, that might allow you to remember those dreams. Getting to that state, staying grounded while you co-dreaming, that would take you past this current transformation, also allow you to understand the abilities inside you that would make you take actions connected to the thoughts that would take you forward towards your uniqueness and success. It might sound like a huge transformation process, but once you start taking steps towards actively resolving your own deceptions and fears, you would intuitively start aligning towards the actions you need and you should take, and these opportunities one after another would start falling in. It would automatically it would start look like that you were walking up a ladder with in complete darkness, but then suddenly one by one those lanterns would just start turning on and you would start finding light. So start the transition process. Death, we often fear death, but this seems to be like a good transformative moment for you to find your own inner power and showcase it. Page of Swords and Fool card both are pointing towards that it is within you. And it should once you start this process, as soon as right now, you start acting for you, when you start looking up opportunities for yourself and stop this undervaluing you start one by one finding the opportunities that connects to you. So release it. Do take this jump. Do take this jump to the next side. Stop undervaluing yourself. Stop. Leo, I hope this reading connected with you. And if it did, I have an extended for you. In the extended, I would look at further how to allow this transition to happen, how to balance your emotions and mind and heart when you're transiting, when you're changing your approach towards work and finding these new opportunities. Messages from the Oracle and how to believe in ourselves and how to co-manifest, and timing. Fool cards and Page of Swords both point towards that it's going to happen as soon as you start, but timing related to the opportunities that start flowing in. All of that, if you would like to join me, is in the extended. The link for that is below in the description box. I hope you liked the reading, and if you did, please do subscribe, and share. Thank you for joining me here, and have an amazing week. Happy Thanksgiving. Bye.